Long before binge watching, the Dukes of Hazzard was a weekly joyride. Red dirt roads, southern charm, and that orange Charger flying through the air like freedom itself. But the years don't stop when the car lands. In 2026, some of Hazzard County's beloved faces are still with us, while others have already taken their final bow. Today we look back, then and now, and honor the cast who made a small county feel like a whole world. Uncle Jesse. Uncle Jesse was the moral compass of the Duke family, steady, warm, and quietly unbreakable. Denver Pyle, born May 11, 1920 in Bethune, Colorado, was 59 when he first stepped into the role, and he gave the series its soul. In a show built on chases and comedy, Jesse provided gravity, the reminder that the Dukes weren't simply running from the law. They were protecting a way of life, a home, a set of values. Pyle's performance mattered because it never felt forced. He played Jesse like a man who'd already lived a full life, someone whose strength came from patience, and whose authority came from love. He brought classic character actor craftsmanship to every scene, grounding the show's wild energy with a calm, fatherly presence audiences trusted. Pyle had a prolific career across film and television, and his face was already familiar long before Hazzard County. He passed away on December 25, 1997, at 77, due to lung cancer. Yet in reruns, Uncle Jesse still feels like the front porch light, steady, comforting, and always on. Boss Hogg. Boss Hogg was corruption played for comedy, greedy, scheming, and somehow impossible to hate completely. Sorrel Book, born January 4, 1930 in Buffalo, New York, was 49 when he became Hazzard County's most famous antagonist. And what made him unforgettable wasn't just the white suit, it was the performance underneath, theatrical, playful, and perfectly timed. Book's work mattered because he understood the delicate balance of the show. Boss Hogg had to be a threat, but not a dark one. He had to keep the Dukes running without turning the world cruel. Book delivered that balance with a character actor's precision, turning every tantrum, every bribe, every ridiculous scheme into entertainment while still keeping the story moving. He built a broad career across television and film. Book passed away on February 11, 1994 at 64 due to colorectal cancer. And still, Boss Hogg remains iconic. Proof that even a villain can become beloved when played with craft and a twinkle in the eye. The Balladeer. Every great show needs a voice that feels like it belongs to the road. Waylon Jennings, born June 15, 1937 in Littlefield, Texas, became the Dukes of Hazzard's Balladeer at 42, guiding viewers through Hazzard's escapades with a narrator's charm and a country singer's soul. Jennings' presence mattered because his voice made the show feel like folklore. The Balladeer didn't just explain the plot. He winked at it, warmed it, and turned each episode into a story you could imagine hearing on a porch at night. And of course, he delivered the theme song, Good Old Boys, which became inseparable from the show's identity, an anthem of trouble, loyalty, and living free for a moment. Jennings was already a legend in outlaw country, and his influence stretched far beyond television. He passed away on February 13, 2002 at 64 due to complications from diabetes. Yet, the moment that narration begins, you're back on the road again, because some voices never leave. Cooter was the friend you could count on, the mechanic with grease on his hands and loyalty in his bones. Ben Jones, born August 30, 1941 in Tarboro, North Carolina, was 38 when he became Cooter, and he brought the show its most dependable kind of warmth, the sense that no matter how bad the chase got, someone back home would help you fix what broke. Jones's performance mattered because Cooter anchored the Duke's world and community. He wasn't flashy, he was essential. His energy, humor, and unwavering support made the friendship feel real, like the Dukes weren't lone heroes, but part of a town full of people who chose to stand together. Cooter's garage wasn't just a set, it was a safe haven. After the show, Jones stepped into public service, serving as a U.S. congressman while staying connected to the series' fan community. In 2026, Ben Jones is 85. And Cooter remains a reminder that the heart of Hazzard County wasn't the car. It was the people who kept showing up. Roscoe P. Coltrane. Roscoe P. Coltrane was chaos in a badge, bumbling, loud, and endlessly determined, even when he was wrong. James Best, born July 26, 1926 in Powderly, Kentucky, was 53 when he played Roscoe, turning a lawman into a lovable tornado of comedy. Best's performance mattered because Roscoe could have been purely annoying. Instead, he became iconic. Best gave him cartoon energy, yes, but also a strange innocence, as if Roscoe truly believed he was the hero of his own story. That's what made him funny without becoming cruel. The character wasn't malicious, just misguided, loyal to Boss Hogg, and blinded by his own enthusiasm. In a series built on lighthearted lawbreaking, Roscoe was the perfect pursuer, dangerous enough to keep the chase alive, silly enough to keep the tone bright. Best had a long acting career beyond Hazzard. He passed away on April 6, 2015 at 88 due to complications from pneumonia, and in reruns, Roscoe still comes barreling down the road, siren wailing, forever late, forever loud, forever unforgettable. Luke Duke. Luke Duke was the steadier half of the duo. Charming, strategic, and just responsible enough to balance Bo's impulsiveness. Tom Wopat, born September 9, 1951 in Lodi, Wisconsin, was 28 when he became Luke, giving the show its calm confidence behind the wheel. Wopat's performance mattered because Luke wasn't just a driver, he was a moral center for the boys' mischief. He made the Duke's trouble feel principled, not reckless, and that distinction kept audiences rooting for them. The best moments weren't only the jumps, they were the quiet looks that said, "We'll do the right thing even if we have to run first." That blend of charm and conscience is classic leading man work, and Wopat delivered it with ease. After the series, he built a respected career in music and Broadway, proving his talent stretched beyond television, action, comedy. In 2026, Tom Wopat is 75. And for fans, Luke Duke remains the face of steady bravery, smiling in the passenger seat while the world blurs past. B.O. Duke. Bo Duke was pure momentum, fearless, fun-loving, and always ready to leap before looking. John Schneider, born April 8, 1960 in Mount Kisco, New York, was just 19 when he played Bo, and he brought youthful electricity that made the General Lee feel like it ran on teenage confidence alone. Schneider's performance mattered because Bo carried the show's joy. Luke might be the planner, but Bo was the spark, the grin, the shout, the reckless optimism that turned every escape into celebration. He made danger feel like adventure. And in the late 70s and early 80s, that sense of escapism was exactly what audiences craved. Bo wasn't complicated, he was alive, and Schneider made that aliveness contagious. Schneider later continued in acting and music, building a long career that kept him close to his fan base. In 2026, John Schneider is 66, and in reruns, Bo Duke is still racing down a dirt road, laughing into the wind, forever young, forever free for 45 minutes at a time. Enos Strate. Enos Strate was kindness in a uniform, an honest deputy caught between the law and his conscience. Sonny Schroyer, born August 28, 1935 in Valdosta, Georgia, was 44 when he played Enos, giving the show a sweetness that softened its chase and scheme engine. Schroyer's performance mattered because Enos made the world feel humane. He wasn't stupid, he was gentle, he wanted to do the right thing, and that internal conflict gave the comedy a heart. His crush on Daisy added charm, and his decency made him memorable enough to earn a spin-off. In a series full of exaggerated authority figures, Enos stood out as the one person wearing a badge who still felt like a friend. Schroyer continued acting in film and television, appearing in notable projects beyond Hazzard. In 2026, Sonny Schroyer is 91, and Enos remains a reminder that sometimes the most heroic character isn't the one who outruns the law. It's the one who tries to live with a clean conscience. Cletus Hogg. Cletus Hogg was the goofy deputy caught in the middle, Boss Hogg's nephew, Roscoe's backup, and the show's lovable reminder that not everyone in uniform is built for authority. Rick Hurst, born January 1, 1946 in Houston, Texas, was 33 when he played Cletus, delivering slapstick warmth that made the character more endearing than threatening. Hurst's performance mattered because Cletus kept the comedy playful. He wasn't sharp enough to be a true villain, and that made him perfect for the show's tone. His confusion, his eagerness to please, and his occasional flashes of conscience made him feel like a real small-town guy who stumbled into the wrong job, but tried his best anyway. In a world of schemers and speed, Cletus was the bumbling human pause button. Hearst continued working steadily across television and remained connected to fans through conventions and reunions. In 2026, Rick Hearst is 80, and in reruns, Cletus still shows up smiling. Proof that sometimes the most memorable characters are the ones who never quite get it right. The transitional cousins. Coy Duke entered during a strange transition, brought in to keep the engine running when familiar faces were briefly absent. Byron Cherry, born April 17, 1955, in Atlanta, Georgia, was 27 when he took on the role, stepping into a show that already felt like a family to its audience. Cherry's performance mattered because replacement roles are unforgiving. Fans don't just watch characters, they attach to them. Coy had to carry the Duke spirit, rebellious charm, loyalty, quick thinking, without pretending to be Bo or Luke. Cherry brought energy and good humor to the attempt. And while the chapter was short-lived, it remains a fascinating footnote in the show's history, proof of how strongly viewers bond with the originals. Cherry continued acting and later stayed connected to Duke's fandom through events and conventions. In 2026, Byron Cherry is 71, and his time as Coy remains a reminder that in long-running television, even the detours become part of the legend. Vance Duke arrived as part of a temporary fix, another cousin stepping in when the original pair left for a moment. Christopher Mayer, born February 21, 1954 in New York City, was 28 when he played Vance, bringing enthusiasm and charm to a role that was never going to be easy. Mayer's performance mattered because it highlights how much a show becomes its actors. Vance wasn't bad. He simply arrived in a space already filled by beloved figures. Still, Mayer gave the character good nature and energy, and his short run remains part of the series' oddest season, television history in real time, trying to hold on to momentum. Mayer continued acting with appearances across genre TV. He passed away on July 23, 2011 at 57 due to natural causes, and his Vance Duke remains a small chapter in the Duke legacy, one that reminds us how rare true lightning in a bottle casting really is. Lulu Hogg. Lulu Hogg was the surprise conscience in the Hogg household. Good-hearted, no nonsense, and often the only person willing to tell Boss Hogg the truth. Peggy Rhea, born March 31, 1921 in Los Angeles, California, was 58 when she played Lulu, and her comedic timing made every appearance feel like a gift. Rhea's performance mattered because Lulu added dimension. Without her, Hogg is pure greed. With her, the audience sees contrast, love, frustration, decency, trying to survive under a roof built on schemes. Lulu's firmness made the comedy sharper and the world richer. It's classic ensemble storytelling. A supporting character arrives and suddenly the villain's house has a heartbeat. Rhea built a long career across beloved television and film. She passed away on February 5, 2011, at 89 due to heart failure. And Lulu Hogg remains a reminder that sometimes the most memorable character isn't the loudest. It's the one who stands their ground with a calm voice and a strong spine. Sheriff Big Ed, Little Sheriff. Big Ed Little was the serious lawman, competent, tough, and a striking contrast to Hazzard County's comic badge wearers. Don Pedro Colley, born August 30th, 1938 in Klamath Falls, Oregon, was 43 when he played the role, bringing authority that felt real enough to raise the stakes. Colley's performance mattered because it reminded audiences that not every encounter could be waved away with a laugh. Big Ed Little introduced a different kind of tension, the kind that forced the Dukes to be smarter, not just faster. Colley's deep voice and commanding presence gave the series a welcome change of temperature, proof the show could handle seriousness without losing its identity. Colley's career included notable film roles beyond Dukes. He passed away on October 11, 2017, at 79 due to cancer. And his Sheriff Little remains one of the show's best contrasts, a reminder that even in a playful series, consequences can walk in wearing a real uniform. Ms. Emma Tisdale. Ms. Emma Tisdale was Hazzard County's feisty postmistress. Sharp wit, strong opinions, and a spine strong enough to face Boss Hogg without blinking. Nedra Voles, born June 18, 1908 in Montrose, Iowa, was 72 when she played Ms. Tisdale, and she turned small appearances into memorable moments with pure character actor magic. Voles' performance mattered because she embodied small-town truth. Every community has an older woman who knows everything, fears nothing, and refuses to be pushed around. Ms. Tisdale brought humor, yes, but also justice. She stood up for what was right in a world full of shortcuts. In a show about outsmarting corruption, her presence felt like moral reinforcement from the community itself. Voles had a prolific career playing unforgettable elderly characters across classic television. She passed away on January 20th, 2003 at 94 due to complications from Alzheimer's disease. And her Ms. Tisdale remains a warm reminder. Sometimes the toughest person in town is the one behind the counter, mailbag in hand, telling the truth out loud. Doc Appleby. Doc Appleby was the town's quiet stability, warm, reliable, and always ready to patch up the latest bruises from Hazzard's adventures. Parley Bear, born August 5, 1914 in Salt Lake City, Utah, was 67 when he played the Doctor, bringing old-school gentleness that made the character feel instantly trustworthy. Bear's performance mattered because every chaotic town needs one calm room. Doc Appleby was that room, the place where jokes paused and humanity re-entered. Whether treating injuries from car stunts or cleaning up the mess left by schemes, he represented care without judgment. In a show built on motion, he was a still point, proof that Hazzard County had a heart beneath the horsepower. Bear built a long career across radio and television, appearing in many classic series. He passed away on November 22, 2002, at 88, due to complications from a stroke. And in reruns, Doc Appleby remains the gentle voice that says, "Sit down. You're going to be all right." Myrtle Tillingham. Myrtle Tillingham arrived with bold energy, lively, eccentric, and impossible to ignore. Lindsay Bloom, born August 28, 1950 in Omaha, Nebraska, was 29 when she played Myrtle, bringing comedic timing and charm that could brighten any scene, even without being a central figure. Bloom's performance mattered because she added flavor to Hazzard County. Shows like Dukes live on recurring types and unforgettable visitors. People who stir the pot, complicate the scheme, and remind you the county is bigger than the Duke farm and the boar's nest. Myrtle did exactly that. She walked in with personality, and suddenly the episode had a new spark. Bloom's career extended across popular television. In 2026, Lindsay Bloom is 76, and Myrtle remains part of the show's lively scrapbook. Proof that even side characters can be remembered when the performer arrives with real presence and leaves with a smile. Huey Hogg. Huey Hogg was slick ambition in a white suit, arrogant, opportunistic, and forever trying to outdo his uncle with crooked schemes. Jeff Altman, born August 13, 1951 in Syracuse, New York, played Huey in his late 20s, delivering a character who was more than a copy of Boss Hogg, sharper, younger, and desperate to prove himself. Altman's performance mattered because Huey raised the comedy stakes. He wasn't just corrupt, he was performatively corrupt, treating scheming like a sport. Altman gave him energetic timing, turning every appearance into a fresh wave of trouble for the Duke boys. In a series built on repetition with variation, Huey was strong variation, the same crooked bloodline, but a different flavor of ego. Altman built a career in comedy and television appearances beyond Dukes. In 2026, Jeff Altman is 75, and Huey remains the perfect reminder. Sometimes the most annoying relative is the one who thinks he's the smartest in the room. Longstreet B. Davenport. Longstreet B. Davenport was a brief but memorable addition, part of the extended Davenport orbit, adding another shade to the show's small-town web. Ernie Lively, born January 29, 1947 in Baltimore, Maryland, was 32 when he played the role, bringing down-to-earth charm to a character who felt like genuine Hazzard County blood. Lively's performance mattered because it widened the town. Hazzard worked when it felt interconnected, Families, relatives, old friendships, familiar faces who could plausibly walk into any scene. Longstreet helped that illusion. Another local, another life, another small thread of connection that made the county feel lived in. Lively went on to a long career across film and television. He passed away on June 3, 2021, at 74 due to cardiac complications. And his presence in Dukes remains a reminder that television worlds are built by more than the leads. They're built by every face that makes the town feel real. Mr. Rubottom. Mr. Rubottom brought small-town steadiness. The general store owner whose presence added another corner of everyday life to Hazzard County. John Wheeler, born June 20th, 1930, was 52 when he played Rubottom, offering the kind of friendly reliability that makes a fictional town feel like somewhere you could actually live. Wheeler's performance mattered because shows like Dukes depend on community texture. The chases are exciting, but the charm comes from the world around them. Stores, porches, neighbors, familiar local faces who keep the town running while the Dukes stir up trouble. Rubottom's general store becomes part of that comfort, a place where information travels, where people gather, where life continues. In 2026, John Wheeler is 96, and his quiet presence remains a fitting final note for Hazzard County's ensemble. Sometimes the most lasting comfort isn't the action. It's the small-town faces that made the adventure feel like home. Daisy Duke and conclusion. Daisy Duke wasn't just a pinup image. She was Hazzard County's fearless engine, quick-thinking, brave, and often the smartest person in the room. Catherine Bach, born March 1st, 1954 in Cleveland, Ohio, was 25 when she played Daisy, creating a character so iconic that her wardrobe became a cultural phrase. Bach's performance mattered because Daisy was more than looks. She drove the yellow Jeep, worked the boar's nest, gathered information, ran interference, and saved the Duke boys as often as they saved themselves. In a show that could have reduced her to decoration, Bach delivered personality, confidence, humor, and a grounded warmth that made Daisy feel like a real member of the family, not a prop. She gave the series a female hero who belonged at the center of the action. Bach continued acting, including a notable run on daytime television. In 2026, Catherine Bach is 72, and Daisy remains timeless, not because of an outfit, but because Bach made her fearless in a world that needed fearless women. And that's Hazzard County, still racing in our memories long after the dust has settled. Some of these performers are still with us in 2026. Many have passed on, but the joy remains. The friendships, the humor, and the feeling of freedom every time the General Lee takes flight. If this ride brought you back, please like, subscribe, and join us again